And we're recording. Very nice. I like. Welcome to the first edition of the Doug Barry Show. And here, we're going to kick off on May Day 2016. The end of the communists' rise. It's a history lesson, and anybody can get it. It's a history lesson, it's a psychology lesson. Where does May Day come into it? Is important for today because it's May Day. May Day is the Communist Day, and the communist organization came from bankers. What? How can private organizations want less money in private or no money in private ventures? That doesn't make any sense. Please explain. Well, it's very easy. Private organizations can influence governments. We know that. That's crony capitalism. But when you step it up a notch to where they're not only influencing but dictating to governments, that's communism. You got big money. You pour money into revolutionaries who take over a government. And that's just it. Then you have a government. Then you have the ability to say to the people living in that country, this is what you're going to do with your time. Or, this is how much money you're going to give me. Look, people are reticent to move because this is where they grew up. This is where their culture is. If they go and visit anywhere else, it's going to feel a little strange. What they like to do is going to be viewed as a little strange. What everybody around them does is going to feel a little strange. The food's not going to be right. You know, what's on TV isn't going to be right. The language isn't going to sound right. Everything. So people don't necessarily want to move, even if it's in their best interest. It's at a certain level, they will move. If you know, at gunpoint, they'll move. If they're looking at, you know, earning twice as much money for the same work somewhere else, they'll learn a language, maybe even, and they'll move. They'll put up with the culture change. They'll move, and actually, they will change the culture where they go. Like when people moved to America, there was the melting pot, and it truly did. It influenced. I mean, we enjoy going out for Chinese food sometimes, sushi sometimes, Italian sometimes. We enjoy motorcycles and larger cars, and all of it is influenced by culture. It's what we're used to. So that's going to change. So really, if like you're looking at only losing 20% of your earnings to this new state entity that's been taken over by you know, banker-funded communists, then you're going to stay. And then you're going to stay, and you're going to pay, and the communists are going to get, the bankers, and the communists are going to get their share. Why doesn't this work? Because when they have when they have complete control over the system, they don't need to encourage people to do anything. They don't have to worry about motivating people to do anything, and actually they can't motivate people to make money. Why do people do more things? Why are people motivated by money? I know it sounds stupid. And there's a lot of people that, like myself included, that when they grow up, they're like, I just don't want to be influenced by money. I just want to go after what makes me happy. And then you, sooner or later, figure out that money can help you get what it'll take to make you happy. Maybe touring the world is going to make you happy. Good luck doing that without money. You know, maybe driving a particular car is going to make you happy again. Good luck doing that money. Maybe helping the poor. You know, you got to eat. You need shelter. You need money for that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're gonna have somebody's gonna put you on their couch, but they need money. Okay, their money is important, and money is not to get too far off topic here, but money is time. Everybody knows that time is money, and it's very true. But just as importantly, money is the ability to get people to do something. So you walk into Target, you want to buy something, you want them to give you a t-shirt, they will give you the t-shirt, but they want that $15, okay? You need a faucet repaired, you can get a guy in there, but you need that $50 to give him. Anything. Money is the ability to get people to do things that they would, normally just sit on their butt. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. It's really for people that wouldn't care about you and what you want. So if you get people to do things, if you take money out of the equation as you do in, say, communism, then it's tougher to get people to do things that they wouldn't do otherwise. Then you have to resort to violence or starvation. If you don't do this, you're not going to eat. Then the motivation is removing pain, future pain. Obviously, you're only going to do so much as it takes. You're not going to, build a 10-story building, when all you need to do is put down 10 bricks to get a meal. No, of course. If you're after the meal, you're going to do the minimum, exactly what needs to take place. However, in a capitalist system, if you are able to secure the ability to build a 10-story building, and you think that the amount of money that you've got to borrow or put into it from your savings, you're going to be able to make money on top of that. You're going to say put $100,000 into it, and then you're going to be able to sell it for $150,000. There's a lot of motivation. There's just $50,000 of motivation that's both going to get you to the point where you're starting building and going to make sure that as it's going up, that you're watching and you've got in the back of your mind that $50,000 every step of the way. This is going to cost me. This is going to cost me. I can't do that. What else can we do? Give me somebody else. We can't have this delay. It's all about getting that $50,000 or more, and definitely not getting anywhere near that $100,000. It affects every decision, and it allows everything to happen. It allows all those people that are working with you to work with you. They are the same way. They want to work. They want to do a good job so that they can continue to do a good job at future businesses. They can't become known as the person that killed somebody by accidentally turning on the electricity when they're putting in the electricity in a building or something like that. They'll get fired and maybe even go to jail. Whatever. That's another thing. But you can't sacrifice your professional reputation. So there's a lot of motivation there with money, and it's not a bad thing because everybody wants their life to get better. Everybody wants their life to get better. And there's a couple ways to get your life better without money, but there's a lot of ways to get your life better with money. And really it's money plus application. So what, you buy a TV, it's not going to do anything until you put it on the wall, plug the cables into the back, and press the power button and are sitting on the couch watching it. Right? But money in itself it's the application of what you do with the money. If you buy a motorcycle, it's just going to sit there, but it's the driving of it that gives you the enjoyment that makes it worth that $11,000 or whatever you pay for that R6 or whatever you buy. So there's two things there. There's money, and then there's the application of it. But those only work on a human. Those only motivate a human as long as he is allowed to take risks and gain benefits from making a purchase or investing his time. Like if you're doing a job, if you're working for the guy who's building the 10-story building, you're only going to do that if you are pretty sure that he's going to pay you, but you don't know until he actually puts the check in your hand. You don't know until that actually clears at the bank. You're taking a risk. In communism, there's no risk. There's a risk of being lazy and not doing anything. They'll starve you. You won't get your housing or whatever. But there's no reason to exert yourself. And when there's no reason for millions of people to exert themselves, economies collapse. And they do. It's inevitable. So they had, they took this big, wonderful, flourishing country, Russia, and it fell. It took 60 years to waste all that wealth. And that country was propped up by empire building and just control. Make them work. Steal their stuff, wage war here and there and steal stuff and steal American plans for bombers and steal. That's what's going on in China. They're stealing, and they can only go so far. It collapses because people are not, without the motivation to get rich, or at least to get comfortable by your own means, you're not going to build the experiences and the experience that it takes to, when you're 20 years in, to make those crucial decisions. And so you get a lot of people that just are labor kind of a thing. They know a thing or two, but it's really just doing their job. They're not working on learning how to do stuff, learning how to do good, great things. And so when push comes to shove, say Russia rolls over as it did into more of a capitalistic free market system. There's a huge experience gap there, and they're not just able to soar. You need people who are driven from birth by their parents to get into a position where they can use their brain, use their motivation, use their brain, and then those societies with all those people, they stack up. It's like they heap up on top of each other, and that produces invention, and innovation that makes your products, a country's products, more valuable than what lesser motivated societies produce. And that's what allows a country to become rich, because then all the other people in the world, they do not have access to as good of a product as is designed and built, built in a country that is free. We need to preserve that. We need to reinstate that. We need to remove any and all non-motivating factors, anything that's like a handout. We need to remove the effects of what is like communism from our society. We need to reinstate personal responsibility, motivation. We need to preserve the ability to be motivated by money. We need to continue to improve our lives. We need to make it so that it's possible, so that a person can say, okay, if I go out and bust my hump today, I know that my life is going to get better. And then they will go out, they will bust their hump. And when you get hundreds of millions of people busting their hump, you have a rich, you grow a rich society, country that's able to, protect itself. And so on this May Day, let's not forget the couple billion people that have had their lives impoverished, have had this one gleaming, wonderful opportunity for life squandered by very powerful, and by that I mean people that have a lot of money and are able to make other people do what they want with money. That's for tomorrow. Tomorrow's money. Today is communism, why it's bad, why it failed, and why we need to remove anything like it from our society. Have a good May Day and enjoy. If you're in a free country, or what's left of it, enjoy the fact that we're not celebrating May Day today.